Buenos dias. Hello and good morning, everyone. I'm Bailey Hall, and over spring break this past week, I was given the opportunity to go to the Dominican Republic and work at an all-boys orphanage. I'm in the Rotaract Club at Tennessee Tech University, and basically that is just the college form of an Interact club that we have here in Smith County in all the high schools. We do many projects in our community, but we are also blessed and able to do projects outside of our country. Our club has been to the Dominican Republic and worked at the orphanage named Hogar El Perro Niños Perro Cristo, which translates to Home of the Children's Beacon for Christ, for 6 years now. This is a Christian-based orphanage, and it is funded by the Army of the Kind, which is based out of Chicago. Their mission is to feed hungry children around the world, physically, mentally, educationally, and spiritually, as we work towards the goal of stopping poverty. This is just a very awesome organization. They started in 2008, and this orphanage was actually their first project, so it was awesome to be at the very first start of this organization. They have now spread to Haiti, Peru, and Africa, so they're reaching out to many other countries. While we were there, we were able to speak to one of their representatives, Miss Liz Millen, and she's just an amazing woman, and just speaking with her, you know that she is doing work for the Lord, and she's not just doing it in the Dominican and other countries as well. She's traveled everywhere, basically, and just spread the word of Jesus Christ, and that's absolutely amazing. Also, the last day we were there was really awesome because we all got in a circle and held hands in the middle of this orphanage, and she prayed over us for safe travels, and she thanked us for everything that we did there and our dedication to the orphanage, and that was just a really awesome experience. So I just wanted to brag about the organization because they completely fund this orphanage and they're Christian-based, and it's just really awesome. There were 23 of us that were able to go on this trip, and that's including faculty. Okay, go to the next one. And we were able to bring 20 duffel bags full of supplies, and this includes clothes, school supplies, toys, and toiletries. It's hard for us to think, but a lot of the people in the Dominican, especially in the orphanage, they don't have access to things like deodorant and things like that. So we were able to bring that to them, bring them new clothes. You can go to the next one. And in this picture right here is a picture of their main dining room, and they have 5 tables. You can go to the next one. They have 5 big tables, and we were able to completely stack those tables high of all of these supplies. You can keep going. You can go to the next one too. Drawstring bags were donated from Tennessee Tech, along with sunglasses for every child at the orphanage. So what we did was each student took a child, and we went down the line, and they picked out a pair of shoes. They were able to pick out at least 2 outfits per child. That included socks and underwear, toiletries, a few toys, and a whole lot of school supplies. And that's a picture of the table of school supplies that we had. And it was really sweet to watch them because they would go through and they were just amazed at how much we brought. They were so thankful that we brought all of these things, and they just completely stuffed their bags full of everything that they could get their hands on, because they don't get big donations like this every day. So it was really awesome just to see them get so excited and pick out the things that they like. And it was really awesome to watch. And, you know, we may think that just 2 outfits that we brought per child, how is that going to get them through the week? Well, currently, before we came, they only had 2 outfits per child. And that's really hard for us to think about, because probably what about 10 kids there have, one of us has more than that. All of them put together. We have more clothes than that. So it was really awesome that we were able to bring them at least 2 more outfits for them to have. And it was really cute because on the second day that we were there, they were actually wearing the clothes that we brought. So there was Tennessee Titans jerseys running around and Vanderbilt shirts running around. And I actually donated 2 of the Relay for Life shirts from this church. So they were running around too, so y'all are represented there as well. Keep going through the pictures. And that's them just picking out some of the things that they liked. Keep going. There's some of the drawstring bags. They picked out toys. And that was us helping them. Go to the next one. And they have the biggest smiles on their faces. They're just so happy, and there's stuff in their bags. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. Okay. So while we were there, we fixed 2 of their bathrooms, and they have community-style bathrooms there. So there was many stalls in there, and they had problems with their sinks and some of their toilets. So we were able to go through and completely fix those. We also painted the bathrooms, and we also bleached them really good so they were nice and clean for whenever they wanted to use them. We also painted 2 of their dormitories. So they had 3 dormitories there, one for the youngest, middle, and oldest. We did the youngest and the middle kids. Their dormitories, it was just a big room, and basically they had about 10 beds in there. And it was painted so crazy because there was yellow on the walls, a navy color on the wall, a light blue color, and a bright blue color. So we completely went through and we repainted it to this light blue just to brighten it up. And that's like the navy color that was in there, and that's the style beds that they have. And also, the last day we were there, about an hour before we were ready to leave, one of their water pipes burst. And so we were able to go through and patch that up and fix that, and praise God that we were still there to be able to fix it, because they would have been without water for a little bit until they could get someone to come fix it. So I'm glad that we were able to be there to fix that. And those are pictures of us painting. Okay, so now to the fun stuff. So we also worked there, but we were also able to play with the kids, make relationships with them. It was amazing at how quickly we bonded with them. By the second day, whenever we walked through the doors, all these little kids were running towards us with their arms wide open, yelling our names, and just ready for us to hug them and play with them. And it was just amazing at how quickly we were able to bond with the kids, even with a language barrier. So we brought them toys, so we were able to fix their basketball goal. We played basketball with them. We played football, soccer, and actually taught this little boy here how to throw Frisbee, which is pretty cool. We brought bubbles for him, and that's what he's doing right now. He's blowing bubbles. It was so funny because they didn't really know what to do with it, so we had to show them, you have to blow, and it'll make bubbles, and then they like to go through and run around and pop them, but then they would also like to see how far they would travel, and they're like, ooh, it's going so far, and then it would bust, and ah. So it was really funny to watch them newly experience bubbles. You can go to the next one. So the previous one was him playing football with me. You go to the next one. So we also brought a big canvas tarp, and we taped out squares for them. So each child was able to paint in a square, and they would write their name or just draw us a cute little picture. The next one. And it was kind of hard for the younger ones to understand what we were doing, but we helped them through it. It was cute. Go to the next one. And those are some of the older ones helping us out with the little kids. And he just liked to have his picture taken. This is a big picture of what it turned out to be like. Go to the next one. And then there's a picture of the whole group and some of the little kids that were still there that wasn't able to go to school that day. But that's a big picture of our group. And you can keep going. They also love to take selfies. So basically a rite of passage for us is we get up in the morning and we look in the mirror, and then we fix ourselves and we go out and do whatever we have to do that day. They do not have mirrors there. They have only seen themselves a number of times in their life. So they loved for us to take pictures of them so that they could go back and look and be like, oh, that's me, that's what I look like. So they took a lot of selfies. You can go to the next one. And he was wearing his sunglasses. He loved it. I have about 100 selfies of him because he kept hitting the button on my phone. Okay. The boys that live here range from about 4 to 18 years old. Once they're 18, they move on, they get jobs, and they go out into the community. They were brought here either because their parents could not take care of them. They were brought to sort of a social services type ordeal, or they were just basically found on the streets and placed in this orphanage. All of them started life off on a really hard note. It's not easy being left on the street. But you wouldn't be able to tell that just spending time with them. They're so amazing and so young and so filled with joy and happiness. And you have to think, if you started your life off raised on the streets, how in the world could you be so happy? How in the world could you be so filled with joy and happiness if God wasn't in your life? Amen. If you didn't have him in your heart? There are many murals on the walls like this one here, and they're all words of encouragement or Bible verses, and I want to share all of those with you because it really touched me that they see this every single day. This one says, you can change the future. Next one. That's another mural. It's of an ocean, and it talks about the future as well. This is in the main dining room, and it's basically rules of the orphanage. And one of the rules is to read and honor your Bible daily. I thought that was really awesome. This one is Ephesians 3:17 and 18, that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith, that you, being rooted and grounded in love, may be able to comprehend with all the saints what is the width and length and depth and height, to know the love of Christ which passes knowledge, that you may be filled with all the fullness of God. Go to the next one. This one is Matthew 5:15 and 16. Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. And the same one, it has Matthew 7:24 and 25. Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it did not fall, for it was founded on the rock. Okay, the next one. This one is Matthew 12:21. And in his name, Gentiles will trust. And so all of these Bible verses and all of these murals are daily reminders that God is in their hearts, that God is working in their lives each and every day, and to have faith in him for anything. Because our God, he's the King of Kings, and he is the Lord of Lords. And he can answer any prayer, anything that we come to him with, he can answer and he can help us. And there is no doubt in my mind that God is working in this orphanage. He is not only working here in Smith County, Tennessee, he is working all over the world, and he is working in the Dominican Republic. I would like to thank each and every one of you for your thoughts and for your prayers, and especially for giving to the special offering and making this trip possible for me. And this trip was so life-changing for me, and it opened my eyes so much to all the many wonderful things that God can do for anybody, not just here in the United States, but all over the world, that He is everywhere and He can do anything. And if anyone ever gets the opportunity to go on a trip like this or a mission trip, I greatly encourage you to take that opportunity and to do it, because your life will be forever changed like mine has. Again, thank you for sponsoring me. Thank you for your prayers and your thoughts. And thank you for having me here today to show you the wonderful things that God is doing in the Dominican Republic. Thank you.